Hey folks, how you all doing? This is Connor coming to you with a company of heroes 1v1. This game comes to us all the way from Greece. The map itself, of course, is not from Greece. This is Arnhem Checkpoint, and I can't honestly tell you who is who on this map. I will say it's supposed to be a close game, but I can't honestly tell you which way to look on this one. But spawning in the north, playing the Wehrmacht forces of Le Practioner, it is... playing the Wehrmacht, I was going to say. Playing Osttruppen Doctrine, it is going to be Le Practioner. And you can see already he's throwing a bunch of Osttruppen out onto the field here. And spawning down the south, his opponent playing the United States forces, it's going to be Chandler M. Bing. But I'm pretty sure he's not bringing any other friends with him. Now, in terms of commanders, though, what will he bring to the fray? He's got a rifle company. He, of course, has heavy cav company. And he's bringing along airborne company. Not too often seen, but nevertheless always an effective selection under the right circumstances. Now, Arnhem Checkpoint, if you're going to be using paratroopers on this map, I'm not sure it's really the best option. I mean, historically, not a great idea, but you know what? That's what it is. I am a little bit concerned for Le Practitioner, mostly because Osttruppen are really only decent if they're kind of sitting down in a garrison. I mean, as you can see, weak, but numerous. Think of like conscripts, except not that well trained. So it's really not that not going to be a particularly effective fighting force for our German player, but doesn't seem to bother him none already. He's got 3 squads out on the map with those pioneers, and he's seizing a fairly good control of the map as we speak. But his opponent, on the other hand, well, Chandler seems to have things well in hand. He has already picked up his fuel. He's connected that well before the Germans did. So he has a slight advantage there. Not that he's going to use that for any particular aggression just yet. Is he going for it? No, he's not going for a quick lieutenant. But neither is Le Practitioner going for a quick battle phase 1. And indeed, we are actually seeing the first bits of blood are being drawn. And it's basically just riflemen dueling with garrisons. Now, the second there's any kind of grenades, though, out for this, or any kind of distance fire for the Americans, these Osttruppen are going to become pretty darn impotent. The question is when that's going to happen. Riflemen jumping over here into this garrison to the east, trying to put fire onto this church. And the Germans, to combat this, are bringing a very early MG-34. Not so uncommon, but definitely necessary when considering the current force composition for the Wehrmacht. Now, Chandler, in the meantime, does seem like he's tacking up. Question is, yep, he is going for that lieutenant. So, this has been getting a lot more play in recent weeks, which is very curious to me because of how vociferously everyone has been avoiding that lieutenant. Interesting, though, in the meantime, we are going to see not actually a triple rifleman opening, but rather 2 riflemen and a rear echelon. So I don't know if Chandler's going to plan to bring on some more, I don't know how to put this. Well, I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. Let's just put it that way. He is bringing in a mortar team, and that's probably a good idea considering how much garrison play already the Germans have tried bringing on board. One Osttruppen squad being sent back to the rear. As the other one starts to beat on these rear echelons over here to the western side. The lieutenant's on the field, though, which means that the second we do see that American officer entering combat, those Osttruppen are going to be incredibly outgunned. MG-34, though, is in the center part of this checkpoint. He's going to be able to lay down a curtain of fire, the likes of which these riflemen have never seen before. And bring up this pioneer squad as well. Very intelligently, these riflemen decide that it's probably better for them to fall back. Mortar team, in the meantime, is going to... Oh, dude, run. There we go. Mortar team is falling back, and machine gun is going to come under fire from this mortar team. 2 shots taking down to 50% health. And now they are still within range, which is a little bit embarrassing when that happens. But the 81 mil falls back in good order. Now, interestingly as well, we're going to see a sniper coming up from Le Practitioner. It's going to require a fair bit of micro on this map, but still could be rather devastating if employed correctly. Chandler, in the meantime, has decided to go for that rifle company, which means we might see easy 8s, and that could be a good call against the late game Axis armor. But I think the reason he did that is give these rear echelons those flamethrowers, as you can see right now, trying to get him up close and personal to that machine gun. But I imagine this, yeah, unfortunately, he didn't quite space out his troops enough, so both his rear echelons are going to get forced back. What's more, this opportunity has allowed the Germans to come over and disconnect this fuel point away from the Americans, and that is something that can't happen too often. Because if you allow those Germans to get rolling with their fuel income, it's going to be a cold day in hell before you can actually move them back. Now, I don't know, again, who actually runs this replay, whose replay this is, but I will say that Chandler might be a better idea, big guy, to post your mortar right behind the building as opposed to out here in the open, because negative cover, you don't know who can come out and really do a lot of damage. The sniper is going to try to exchange firepower with these riflemen. Takes that one head, but in the meantime drops a fair bit of health. And the lieutenant is going to do a good work over here against the Germans, disconnecting their own fuel and beating on those rear echelons, not rear echelons, beating on those Osttroop. And you can see already that BAR doing a fair bit of work here. Machine gun's been forced back to base by that mortar team, and is this... No, it's not. I thought it was going to be the Flame Pioneers, but no. Instead, we're going to see Late Practitioner trust in the ever-almighty 222 coming out instead. Also worth noting is the 50 cal machine gun has been posted out by Chandler. Not often again something you tend to very see. Usually people kind of ignore the machine gun when you're an American. Not for 100% reasons I really get, but nevertheless something that tends to get overlooked quite a bit. Now, these Pioneers getting chased back over here. Slivers of health keep them on the field. Those guys barely make it out alive. Sniper, in the meantime, has transitioned to the eastern side of the map. He's putting fire on, putting fire in the rear echelons. That poor guy right there has gone down. And 491 to 357. Interestingly, we do see that the Wehrmacht is up quite a bit. But it's not going to last too much longer. We do see the captain's going to come onto the field. The question is, though, is it going to be a 57 mil to just kind of deflect the 222, or will that be a much more long-term strategy? Just kind of maybe waits to bring out something like a Stewart in a couple of minutes. Yeah, which indeed will be a couple of minutes. I do want to check. It does not seem like either player has gone for any kind of healing opportunities here. Nope, just bunkers that are not doing anything for the Americans. In the center part of the map, mortar team continues to start throwing down fire, and this rifleman right here really needs to be healed up. I do not appreciate right now how there's no ammo on the field for Chandler. If that delays your Stewart, that delays your Stewart, but you have to have that heal. Otherwise, your troops are going to get cut apart.
One of our capture points.
And the center part of the map is going to be a big gauntlet of fire for everyone. Machine gun's going to be able to not take out that Osttroopen. And what's more, it does allow these Pioneers to pick up another star of veterancy here, and this captain seems to be a little lost about where he actually wants to be fighting. Get chewed up. Jeez, he dropped like 30% of his health in like 8 seconds, 9 seconds. Brutal amounts of firepower going out here. But in return, another curtain of fire goes the other direction. So while we had the 50 cal taking fire from the sniper and does get taken out, dropping that cal out into the town square. He was doing a decent job, at least holding back the Hun from expanding any further. Now, in the meantime, though, Chandler is not still investing in either a tank soon enough. But no, finally getting an ambo. Good decision there. And that poor tree, I don't know why that guy had to die, but part of his family tree got knocked off right there, if you know what I mean. And Osttroopen running afoul of these riflemen, and again, the biggest problem with the Osttroopen is that they're so poorly trained, they don't know how to fire when they're on the move. So yep, there goes a squad right there in favor of the Americans, that is. And this double flamethrower, this is not the best usage of this pod, but nevertheless, it will see the 222 back away in terror, if for absolutely no other reason than just the sheer number of models that are firing at it. Sniper will take out a head just a second here. Just inside. No, he's not shooting over there, is he? No, he's not. Interesting. Captain being forced back to the American base, one model left on him, but the Americans are finally draining away a couple of tickets from the Wehrmacht. It's still down 120 tickets here. But indeed, it at least is happening. That's the important thing. Osttroopen getting beat up, and a lot of really low health units for everybody on this map. I do not agree with the way that this has been going so far for either player. Mortar rounds though are coming in to force back the machine gun, and the Americans take a slight army lead, going to be a little more pronounced once they bring that Stewart onto the pitch. But these guys are not in a good position to do anything. Again, bathing that guy in fire, but the only thing he's going to do is scratch a little bit of paint, burn the paint off perhaps. In the eastern side, though, we are going to see again another fuel cutoff, so it just seems these guys are trading fuel back and forth, and again, these rear echelons need to be either moving separately or being a little more active in different parts of the map. Stewart coming onto the field might be enough to change that, though. That light tank will do a number on the 222. He's taking rounds from his own troops.
Capture point is being overrun.
Okay, so mortars for some reason are firing on this empty strategic point. The rifle in the meantime are going to go and do a good bit of damage onto these Osttruppen. On the western side, I'm not sure you guys just noticed, but Chandler did lose that his rear echelons. I think he was trying to bait out that 222 for a little bit longer, but unfortunately just did not get what he was hoping for there. And if he had just been so aggressive, he could have taken out everything just then, but no, the Stewart's probably going to go down. Take at least one more round for that Pack 40. Excuse me, from the Raketten? From the Pack 40 rather, excuse me, I'm not sure why I had a brain fart there. But the captain does a little bit of damage in return, taking out the 222 with a long-range bazooka shot. The question is the sniper going to get out in time? No, he's not. I don't know. But mortar has also been taken out in the middle part of the field as well. And Chandler's going to drop down a Willie Pete barrage. Not sure why necessarily. I guess to just do some damage to the Pioneers. That damage over time can be quite devastating. You can see right now, might drop another model, drop another one. Nope. So barely making out alive. The last guy's wearing hot pants, if you know what I mean. And I'm kind of wondering if Chandler might be investing in some of the wrong things here. The machine gun just doing a ton of work here, really keeping Late Practitioner in the game by suppressing a lot of this allied infantry.
Anti-tank gun, ready for action.
And geez, Squatch is limping back home. Now, looking at Late Practitioner, he should be teching up aeons ago. Not in the least because he has no late game real call-ins, but also because, hey guys, he's got that Battle Phase 2 pretty darn easily, if and when he wants it. But I guess that sniper's doing pretty well, keeping him in this game as his own right. Is a little bit close to this lieutenant, keeps getting some damage done to him. But the Americans continue to kind of flirt with the idea of taking more of the map.
Our supply line just got cut off.
We're going to see it tack up at all soon. No, that's going to be a long time before the major comes in. And one thing I'm a little displeased with is the way that the people have been not preserving their forces. This machine gun's going to come forward just in time, I think, for the Americans to seize the fuel, but I cannot say for sure. It's going to be super close. This captain might get suppressed, but that's about it, I guess. Nope, and there is that fuel being taken. Doesn't do either player much good, though. More concerning in the south is these rear echelons coming up against these Osttruppen, and they're going to do super well as those guys are all in cover. And now, as you can see, they're just vanishing. Their entire squad is getting blown apart. And there goes the squad right there, leaving Late Practitioner with really just one squad of actual infantry. And is that going to be a supply coming back in for the Americans? Well, not yet. I'm rather impressed with Late Practitioner's sniper play. It's been very dynamic, getting across the map back and forth, and taking advantage of his opponent's oversight, which is to say, in some cases, Chandler leaving troops in territories and buildings for far, far too long.
A capture point is being overrun.
There's just action all over the map as well, so I actually also have to single out both guys for being very aggressive all over the map. Usually you see on some of these games being sent in kind of tunnel vision play that doesn't see the entire map utilized, instead just seeing like everyone focusing on one section on eastern, central, or western sides of the map. And that hasn't been happening here. Yes, there's been a lot more squad wipes than really maybe there should be otherwise. But let's recognize these guys for what they're doing right now. They're playing a very dynamic game, and 15 minutes in, it's been action all over the place. Pack is still set up over here on this western road, that green cover given to him mostly because of the gun, as I recall. which is a very interesting mechanic that kind of gets overlooked an awful lot. But late practitioner again, buddy, you got to be teching up. At least he does have a bunker down, so he's getting some healing for his own troops. That's good right there. Pigren's coming to the middle part of the field, and a couple of 57 mils on the American side is not really necessary at the moment, but I can understand the kind of thought to do it.
We're losing a capture point.
Bundle grenade goes out, but not going to do any kind of real damage overall.
Gun ready.
And America's going to come back in and seize this middle VP pretty quickly, I imagine. Yes, they're going to come under fire literally to do it, but this mortar team right here should be just out of range and should be able to drop rounds on top of this garrison. And this is pretty much a linchpin to late practitioner's army. These guys have just not been too vetted up overall, but it's just these pioneer squads. Also coming in, supply drop zones. You see 50 fuel coming in for the Germans. Not that they're actually really getting any kind of use out of it. Again, those poor guys, they're not teching up at all, and it's really bothering me. But hey, 50 fuel is 50 fuel. And for 200 munis, 200 manpower, that's really not that bad. Now tech, okay, he has teched up finally. Good. Machine guns in the meantime are continuing to put rounds into all these garrisons and doing a good number here and there. But that round might do a little bit more damage if next round comes in. Nope, just barely falling short. Luckily enough for the machine gun, they back away with 3 models left. Chandler, have you gone for that major yet, son? No, he is not. He finally is doing that right now as I look at it. So thank you very much, Chandler, for reading my mind. Late practitioner, you have now teched up. Are you building a support armor core, though, is a question. No, instead of going immediately to battle phase 3. Interesting decision there. I don't know if you're just trying to tech into a late game. How do I put this? A late game tank immediately, or what the deal is. Oof, and where's the Willie P. Barrage coming down? Willie P. Barrage coming out over here. Gonna do some frying damage to this machine gun, but not enough to really kill anybody, I don't think. But 17:30 into this game, and the Americans are threatening to make this a triple cap for them, which is kind of a shock considering how much territory they were giving off in the first parts of this game. Meantime, Peak Rent's in this house going to come under fire. Mortar is just doing its own business. Lieutenant and Rifleman are falling back for the Americans, but overall,
Battalion just released a major for action.
the American forces should be able to trade rather easily with the current Wehrmacht army composition. Sniper continues to just do tons and tons of work, 24 kills already. And I'm actually kind of shocked he's been able to do this much damage. But I guess the death of kind of light vehicles early on has seen the Americans getting pushed back again and again.
Running one of our capture points.
At the same time, it is worth noting that the Americans, despite being up a triple cap, are still not even back up in tickets. They're going to threaten to do that, but not quite there just yet. Oh no, never mind. It's going to be, it looks like the trip cap is maintained as mortar rounds come in all over the place. The sniper is now in the house and with a machine gun covering them.
A capture point.
The question really is whether or not these Osttroopen can safely take the point. One round could be more than enough to destroy them, and 2 models go down immediately. Jeez. These mortars are just like grafted to the German troops. They better run away. Geez, 5 models went down in about 3 shots there. And now the major is on the field, so the question is, will it be maybe a forward positioning, a forward like retreat point being put up? I don't know. I do know this 50 cal over here can put some serious firepower onto this German machine gun and is going to suppress it super quickly.
Our supply line's cut. Germans are making a push.
And might be able to take them out. Know that that reduced accuracy on retreat will see them get away with at least a sliver of health. And
Objective secured.
okay, well, railway artillery barrage went down over on this garrison right here. Seems a little bit excessive. Oh wow, never mind. There, that poor squad gets evaporated. But the machine gun is still okay. One more round, gonna take it out? Yes, never mind. The machine gun is no longer okay. Poor machine gun. Poor machine gun. So for 200 munitions, the Germans have successfully taken out a machine gun crew. Not the most efficient usage, but you know what? That's fun. They have some tickets to play with. They got time. It looks like they're bringing a broom bar in as well. So Grumbling Bear coming onto the field.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
But I'm not sure that's really the right call. I think I would have much rather have gone for that Panther if I was going to go for anything at all. I mean, 150, 175. I mean,
A capture point is under attack.
I don't know. That would not have been my decision. But, you know, that's why they're the players and I'm not the players. Lieutenant's trying to come in, going to put some firepower into this retreating sniper who's got 3 stars of veterancy, but they might go through this minefield if they're not careful. Nope, instead it's going to be running into Osttruppen, and Osttruppen are going to kind of do a little bit of damage, but not overly much. And what had so quickly been a American trip cap is now a German trip cap. So we're just seesawing back and forth here, folks, 21-10 into this game.
We're losing a capture point.
These 57mm haven't done anything. I don't even think they fired a shot yet, which is kind of embarrassing. And yet again, late practitioner, I'm not sure if you should just maybe start throwing down those... Forgive me, I lost my train of thought for a second. I had a fire alarm go off in my house the other day because one of my roommates was cooking. And the fire alarm just went off again, and I just want to make sure that the house is not in fact burning down. So, oops. Broom bar is out in the field now, which means that Chandler is going to go and counteract that by putting in an easy 8. And once that comes on, that broom bar is not going to be able to do anything. But I tell you what is going to be able to do something. These machine guns are just carving bloody murder through everything for the Americans. 57 mils also try to reposition themselves to cover a potential move by this tank. And they are already starting to put rounds into that poor broom bar, and the Grumbling Bear is forced to move back. In the meantime, though, these riflemen get shelled and flamed and everything possible, really. Oh my gosh, now the sniper's up here too. So 30 kills on this guy already. Mortar needs to find some way to put fire into him. Because if not, these tanks, anti-tank guns are going to get abused. And there it is. Here comes a sprint forward from that. Oh my gosh, from that, he's not going to quite get him. No, never mind. The sniper makes it out alive. But Easy 8 is now on the field, which means that broom bar is very much obsolete. Now, what is not obsolete, though, continues to be that ridiculous machine gun just destroying everything. But you know what? Let's focus on the armored giants up here throwing wet noodles at each other, or at least, and that's the case for the broom bar. Pack 40 is going to turn back around, though, and put a number of rounds into this Easy 8. But the broom bar desperately tries to go and escape. I'm not sure it's going to happen, and no, he does not. He blows up, he brews up, and that is all she wrote. Could be kind of interesting to see the Easy 8 try to put a round into the Pack 40. There is still a bunch of mines over there, so it would be kind of fun, more or less, to see that go off underfoot. In the meantime, though, we're going to see the death of this machine gun crew. No, Willie Pete Barrage, I always forget, doesn't actually kill models. It just takes away all of their health until a Whisper is all that really remains of their health pool. Panther coming out for Le Practitioner as Chandler decides what he wants to approach next. He's down in tickets by 112 yet again. He's not taken the field very aggressively. And indeed, this sniper has just been a giant pain in the butt. 32 kills. And what's going on over here? Oh, jeez. Poor rear echelon's going to get pinned by this machine gun crew, who just sits on top of this fuel point, and there's just nothing that the Americans seem to be able to do about it.
We can now deploy a smoke screen to blind the enemy.
I'm wondering if what we should try to do is throw this down and have another squad behind on a retreat path, so that way the machine gun crew moves through and gets fried. That'd be a good idea right there. But hey, 25 minutes into this game, 312 to 175, and finally, oh my gosh, this machine gun is just bonkers on top of stuff. And now they're running through this minefield as well, so between mines and the machine gun, we tend to see now why it was so difficult to assault a fortified position. Jeez. And this is something really to know as well. I probably should have mentioned this when attacking a machine gun. Mines are beautiful ways to keep your machine guns in one position. Easy 8 says, hey, I'll come get him, and realizes that his target has fled. It might even just be running over the rest of these mines, so you can just set them off as much as possible. Instead, just shells a dead car and doesn't do anything about it. Pioneers, in the meantime, will flank both the anti-tank guns and the mortar team. And the Panthers coming in and around this Easy 8, so rounds coming in. Does the Easy 8 penetrate is a question? I don't know. He's not firing just yet. You need to think the Panthers got this pretty much made. Until, of course, the 57mm get in on the field. And wow, the Germans have just lost their Pioneers, especially the Flammenwerfers, and that is not a huge loss, but that's still one of the most vetted up squads that remained in Late Practitioner's army. Now, I would like to see Chandler being using a little bit more of his weapon racks. He's not used any of them so far. Ah, yes, an AFO has now come out for the Germans. This guy, by the way, in the meantime, can be very, very instructive. Dropping down the smoke barrage as well as calling in the whole accuracy. This thing is kind of interesting as well, but there's no mortars or anything likewise. Oof. And there is that Willy Pete barrage. But there's no one here to put any kind of fire into them. So now they're going to limp away, they're going to have no health, but they can just run away and will be no problem whatsoever to come back to the fray. But in the meantime, oh geez, these riflemen actually picked up, did they pick up the Flammenwerfer? No, I guess they picked it up from one of the rear echelon squads. Yep, that's an M2 right there. And they're going to try to do their best, which is not going to be good enough to stave off this German assault here. Germans who take again the middle part of the field. 2-0 cap, going to be a 2-1 cap in about 3 seconds. Okay, maybe a little bit longer than 3 seconds. My time's a little bit off there, perhaps. But Chandler just keeps dropping down that Willy Pete barrage, which is, again, shockingly good, as long as you have someone there to follow up on it.
Our supply line is cut. Germans are making a push.
This Panther again gets up on top of this Easy 8, and these 57mm, one is a little bit, okay, they're both here, okay. Oh geez, but railway artillery support is happening as well, so the question is, can they get out in time? I don't know. One of them is not moving at all. That's going to be a massive problem. Okay, here we go. Whew. Whew. Oh, he still gets smoked. Poor guy.
We're losing a capture point.
And the question is, will this anti-tank gun survive, or will he go the way of the Dodo like his 50 cal brother did before? Last shell. Taking bets. Where's it going to go? Oh no, but that thing still survives, so never mind. But the Germans are devastating this map right now. Dear God, they own everything. Well, they don't own a couple of fuel points, but that's literally it. That's all they've got. And this poor captain, is he going to get picked off here by this Panther? Panther's going to do a fair bit. Yep, there he goes. Panther has taken out one of the last AT resources that exist right now for the Americans. And this mortar team, I didn't even notice, got taken out, almost captured by the Germans, but no, instead it gets decrewed again really super quickly, and that's lucky for them. Lieutenant charging forwards for some strange unknown reason. It does seem that that Easy 8 is still in play, but he's got to get some real good repairs done. Where is he? Back here on the southeast. Okay. But the Americans are definitely losing out on the tickets here. 312 to 78, 29 minutes in. I don't know. Is he going to get back to this? There's a Panzerwerfer coming out as well for the Germans, so that indirect fire will be very, very good for good old Father Deutschland there. But the Americans continue to be game. They're not giving up just yet. They huddle in these houses, putting fire down as best they can. For some reason, firing into this tank. I suppose maybe focusing on a little bit more pressing matters here. But okay. Nevertheless, 57 mils have come up here and put rounds into the enemy Panther. Don't manage to take it out, though.
Consolidate our forces. We're left with 50 points.
Alrighty, though. Now, Panzerwerfer, has he fired yet? No, he's on the field, though, which means that he can be very, very scary if he wants to be. Easy 8 getting flanked by this Panther in this very, very soft sense. First shot does come off for the Panther. But the 57mm should be able to get another round or two in, and yep, they do, damaging the engine. A couple of really beautiful shots there. Panzerwerfer, in the meantime, throws down rounds and does a lot more damage than I ever expect to see a Panzerwerfer do. The thing just never seems capable of actually doing damage. But look, one whole kill on him. He's on a ton of health damage as well, so that's a good, solid space to start. Now, Chandler, can you afford a Sherman? Yes, you can, but you can't afford an Easy 8, can you? No, another 23, 24 fuel.
25 points.
I imagine if he can get back to that level, another Easy 8 on the field, that should be more than enough. More than enough to take successfully the field. Also unfortunate as well is that these Germans have left behind all these mines in their wake, and the Americans don't really have a whole lot of hazard removal to deal with that. Rear echelons on the other side of the map, definitely living up to their name. But I even noticed that right now, veterancy is still fairly even, I'm surprised to say. And the Americans have also managed to not get any more death and destruction being done to their troops, and to VPs for that matter. Geez, they are actually caught back up in VPs, which is super shocking for me. Now, Osttroopen coming forward, going to throw a Panzerfaust into this Easy 8. Oh, or maybe not. No, the guy got taken out. Animation cancel happens instead. And this stupidly vetted up squad of Osttroopen might go the way of the dodo. Oh my gosh. What? What? These guys just take it. Okay, no, okay, that was the the 57 mil took out the Panzerwerfer at extreme range. So late practitioner allowing the Americans to get back into this game by just being inattentive. This machine gun again off to the eastern side, just kind of sitting over here doing his thing. And Easy 8 is about to get himself a little bit of a brother, a little bit less, you know, aware brother, but nevertheless a brother. And the practitioner really should be investing in either more Osttroopen or more tanks, or really more everything right now. Even another broom bar would be a good idea. And really, to a certain extent, I kind of wonder if it would not have been better if he had just gone for that Battle Phase 2 and just gone P4s, as opposed to taking up the entire way and going for that late game Panther.
A capture point is under attack.
Now, the Americans are almost down to 10 tickets. So like, oh, there's another broom bar coming onto the field. Okay. So the question, ooh, this is super brave.
Sherman ready.
Major is back in base. No, Major is capturing for some reason, over to the western side. But we have, the Panther is up, he is running, and here comes another railway artillery barrage. And I don't know if these Sherman is going to be microed too much that the rest of these Americans won't see what's going on here. But there's a big, massive, massive push by Allied infantry in the middle part of the field. Mortars being pushed forward, everyone being thrown forward in a madcap assault.
Enemy forces now have
And we're ignoring the railway artillery barrage because there's not a whole lot of damage being done there. And this machine gun, although it was very, very good in holding back the initial press of the American assault, is not going to be enough for them. Yikes. Ambo does get away in time, though. Pack 40 is up, so is the Easy 8. Question is, riflemen are in the area. Okay. What else is going on here? Well, Pack 40 taking some incidental damage by the Easy 8, by way of Easy 8. It might go down here. One more model just needs to be it. One round does come off, but he is slain right after that. And this Panther, all that remains is 1 or 2 hits at the absolute most. And I believe they finally know that. Now the broom bar as well. This broom bar is not going to last very long, unless he's using it just as like a blade of armor. But Panther and Easy 8 is getting frustrated by the fact that his shells just continue to not penetrate at all. One more round will do it though from the Panther. Will he get that last round off? I don't know. No, instead he gets brewed up by a broom bar. How embarrassing is that?
We just lost a meeting.
That's super embarrassing. Okay. Okay. But you know what? There's a Pack 40 now. It's a couple 57 millimeters. These anti-tank guns should be more than able to destroy any armored assault from the Germans.
We're losing a capture point.
And another sniper is coming back in. After losing his greatest killer, he is deciding to go for it one more time. And I have, again, to just kind of give a nod to the late practitioner's ability to kind of slip in and around a lot of these Allied positions here.
Capture point is...
However, if this guy goes down, that'd be a big loss. He might go down. One more burst of fire. Yep, there he goes, and that is a big loss, actually. Broombar has tried to troop forward a little bit. Not sure that's going to be necessarily enough to see this Allied forced back. And instead, it's just going to be one model staying inside this area to keep the Germans from successfully recapturing the position. And at long last, a new squad of infantry comes in. It's only taken him another 8 or 9 minutes to do it. And indeed, where is that machine gun of his? Okay, it's a little too far to the north, not able to give support to this middle, how do I call this, skirmish, to put it politely. Sniper, in the meantime, curving out to the eastern side of the map. Is he trying to pick off these rear echelons? Because that would just be a shame if this EZ-8 spotted him instead. No, but the Panther comes back in. He's not fully repaired. And that's a giant mistake if I ever saw one.
HMG squad ready for action.
And shockingly, another 50 caliber is being used. Interesting. EZ-8 is now starting to trade fire, though, with that Panther. Just continues to not penetrate. I always thought these things are a little bit better than they are, it seems. Pack 40 is up here, though, and those guys can definitely penetrate the rounds, penetrate the armor of that Panther, well, of course, when they do hit. But 249 to 11, the Americans were down such an incredible amount, and now it seems all the Germans are back in base, huddling for safety. At this point, you got to be throwing in everything you can, and wait, that's an interesting call. Grenadiers being called in. Yes, that's only 40 more manpower utilized than your average Osttruppen squad, but Grenadiers against late-game Allied infantry is not going to be a particularly strong opportunity here. But in the meantime, this lieutenant might want to consider getting out of there, and he might get taken out. Nope, he does not. Thankfully, he's going to sprint faster than that sniper can creep on behind him. The EZ-8 is going to come over here to wreak terrible vengeance for the lost souls of the lieutenant's squad here. He's also throw off any kind of damage from those mines, going to laugh at it, eat it for dinner. And the question is, that sniper going to go down? No, he instead refocuses on that machine gun crew who is out in the open, and the Panther's going to come in. And the EZ-8 will just kind of laugh and jog away. Trip cap for the Americans, and again, now every single time the German infantry is going to come forward, they're going to get met with just incredible amounts. Guys, rifle grenades, you have the munitions. Incredible amounts of riflemen fire. Both veterancy as well as that flamethrower cannot be discounted in how devastating it can be under the right circumstances. And I tell you, these are the right circumstances. Sniper is going to come up and claim a couple more heads here, but these rear echelons over here are going to push back the very vanilla German pioneers. Ooh, but now Pack 40 and 57mm are going to see this Broombar in the flank, and Panther in the flank for that matter as well. Grumbling Bear going to get taken out, though. One more salvo will be enough. Damaged engine, give enough time to get another round. That's one. That's one. Okay, just barely out of range there, so super lucky for the Bear. He's not quite going down for his eternal slumber.
Knock it off and listen up.
And here's the time you drop a Willie Pete barrage right there.
Under attack.
Drop a Willie Pete, there we go, right there. Beautiful opportunity right here. Yes, these anti-tank guns are going to get brutalized. That might even go down, but they're doing a ton of damage to this machine gun, and that's all you really need to do.
A gun crew.
At this point, you can just waste time. You have the army size, you have the capabilities, as long as you don't drop your tanks in a stupid action. You should be just fine. Because a lot of your opponent's material
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
is on highly expensive, but highly kind of price inefficient infantry. Sniper, excellent, but he's really only going to be able to use him throughout the entire game. A sniper this late in the game is a little bit of a liability. Not a huge one, but a little bit of one. Panther, in the meantime, is going to come in and around this EZ-8. And he's going to keep bouncing around because why the heck not, right? Where's the other EZ-8? He's coming forward. The pack is still up and running, and between these three cannons, it should be enough to penetrate and slay Panther. But it seems that no one really wants to kill that poor Panther. That guy's been in combat for such a long period of time. Plus, adding the whole blitzkrieg tactics, good idea right there.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits?
And now the Germans have themselves an anti-tank gun. So we're coming down closer and closer to 109 to 11. The Americans have been down by like a factor of 10 or 15 for the last forever in this game. Panther sliding over here to the west. Are we going to see
They're down to one.
a slide over here from the Allied infantry and Allied armor? Or no, we're going to see instead just this poor lieutenant going to get beaten on. 35 kills. Have to be impressed on that one. And Panzerwerfer Barrage for some reason going after this poor house. Not that he did anything wrong. Sniper's up, so is his machine gun. Machine gun's got 0 health. Another Willie P. Barrage going down. It's not going to do any damage. Oh, it's just going to force him back. It's not going to do any damage, though. And I'm not sure why he's doing that. His own troops might get caught in the backblast here. You see him starting to bleed some health off of those riflemen. But I guess at this point, Chandler is just going to play for time. He doesn't need to attack. He's got the manpower to just keep reinforcing his forces. He has the territory control. His opponent does not have
Frag grenades now available for action.
the fuel connection, and that is a big win right there. Should have been used this a long time ago, and should have frankly been getting these grenades a long time ago as well. But here we are, 41 minutes into this game, and neither player seems content just to take these final moments lying down.
A capture point is under attack.
Now, Capture Pack 40 and the recruit 57mm for like the 5th time is back in play. Oh, look, 35 kills on that guy. Oof, what a champ. 34, 15, 8. 8. Solid. Right there. Even 21 kills on this. Oh my gosh. Broombar. No, my friend. You might die. In fact, I'd be very surprised if you didn't die right now. First round does come in. Does a ton of damage to that anti-tank gun. But that poor Broombar gets gangbanged, and it's going to go down one more shot, I imagine. Yep, that's one. Finally, we do see that the Panzerwerfer Barrage has gone out in the right area, taking out a ton of rear echelons and really doing a ton of damage to this machine gun as well. But 16 to 11,
Gun crew just got wiped out.
Chandler should be bum rushing this Panther now too. Go! No, he's not going for it. Instead, he's going to find out that his Pack 40 is probably... No, it's a Capture 57mm too. Might be enough to take out his Easy 8.
Pull everyone back. We're down to 10 points.
And he's getting super close here. I don't know. Is he going to get here in time to take one of these positions back? Over to the west, it does seem this tank crew is going to be able to do so. Can they repair and capture at the same time? Survey says yes. 16 to 5. Easy 8 brews up. Panther is still in play though.
A medium tank.
Less than 5 tickets. Are they going to get it in time? I think just barely. No, they're not. I don't think they are. Oh my gosh, this is so unfortunate. One. Oh my gosh, this is actually wait, could this be an American victory? Could this be a soccer match? Oh my gosh, folks, I think we're going to see ourselves a pitch. 16 to 1 right now, folks, getting closer and closer all the time. And if the Americans take this middle VP, the Germans cannot win. In fact, I think the only thing the Germans can do is lose at this point. And yes, guys, it is going to be a soccer victory for the Americans. 11 to 1, 9 to 1. These games are going back and forth, up and down, and my guess is now I have Chandler M. Bing to thank for this game. And that's going to be all she wrote, guys. So 44 minutes and 4 seconds into this, we do see the Americans win with a resounding, amazing score of 1-0. So well done to both players. I appreciated seeing a lot of good active play. At the same time, maybe some squad preservation could have been a little bit better, but well done to Chandler. Well done to Lay Practitioner. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another Subscriber Saturday. You know, I love casting your guys' games. If you have one you want to check out, please let me know. Email me at connorgaming@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to check it out and see if we can get you posted up online here, highlight some of your good play. That's going to be it for me today, though, folks. You all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys all real soon. This is Connor signing off. Take it easy.